Maya. Daddy.
Your dad choosing.
Imagine trusting someone who's supposed to care for you, only to find out that they could be the most dangerous person in your life. That's the chilling reality Maya Chappell faced, and it raises a haunting question. How well do we really know the people we let into our homes? Welcome to Cryptic Casebook, your guide to the world of crime and mystery. Today we delve into the tragic story of Maya Chappell. Maya was a bright and cheerful young girl. She lived with her mother and her mom's boyfriend, who initially seemed like a caring figure in her life. However, beneath the surface, a dark and sinister reality was brewing. The case involved a disturbing series of mischances to save Maya. Join us as we delve into the details of this shocking case and reflect on the lessons it offers. Maya Chappell was born on March 7, 2020 in County Durham, England. From the day she was born, Maya brought immense joy to her family. She was a happy 2-year-old little girl who loved to sing, dance, and watch Peppa Pig. She had a huge smile and an infectious laugh. Maya's parents, Dana Carr and James Chappell, were together since her mother Dana was 17 years old. They had a complex relationship, and they separated before Maya's 2nd birthday. Despite their separation, James remained an actively involved father, cherishing his time with Maya. In July 2022, Dana began a new relationship with Michael Damon, a man she met through his work delivering gas bottles to the pub where she was employed. Their relationship, which began under rather unconventional circumstances, quickly evolved. Michael visited Dana at her home in Catchgate, County Durham, and basically never left. When Dana and Maya moved to Shotton Colliery in August 2022, Michael effectively moved with them. Dana described their relationship as a fairy tale, believing Michael to be the loving partner she always wanted. She fell head over heels and described him as a loving and caring man who treated her 2-year-old daughter as if she were his own. He would bake cakes with Maya and would sit and watch films with her. Michael initially appeared to embrace his role as a stepfather. Maya would call him DD, and if he left the room, she would call out, "Where's DD gone?" This showed that she trusted and felt comfortable around him. However, beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic domestic life, troubling signs began to emerge. The early signs of trouble in Maya's life were subtle, but alarming. Within weeks of Michael moving in, Maya began to show visible sign of physical harm. Although Michael seemed to be a caring stepfather, his behavior towards Maya began to exhibit alarming patterns of abuse. Maya's injuries, initially brushed off as minor accidents, were in fact part of a disturbing pattern of escalating violence. Family members, including Maya's father, James Chappell, noticed the bruises on Maya's body during his visits. James and other relatives raised concerns, but Dana and Michael provided explanations that downplayed the severity of the situation. They claimed Maya's injuries were minor and attributed them to typical childhood accidents or her own behavior, such as nipping herself. To further obscure Maya's condition, Dana and Michael withdrew her from nursery, preventing caregivers and professionals from noticing the extent of her injuries. Maxine Shorten, Maya's great-aunt, was increasingly troubled by the bruises she observed. Maxine reported her concerns to social services, but unfortunately, this report did not lead to immediate intervention. The authorities were not fully aware of Maya's suffering until it was too late. The delay in addressing the situation was compounded by the fact that Maya's family was not previously known to social services, which affected the response and level of urgency. 2 weeks before Maya Chappell's tragic death, her mother, Dana Carr, reached out to health visitors for help. The Child Safeguarding Practice Review, CSPR, commissioned by the Durham Safeguarding Children Partnership, illuminates a series of missed opportunities where agencies could have intervened to provide early support for Maya's family. The review emphasizes that a higher level of professional curiosity might have prevented the tragedy. Maya, who had moved homes multiple times in her short life, showed concerning behavioral changes just weeks before her death, shortly after her mother's partner, Michael Damon, moved into their home. Additionally, Maya's father, James Chappell, expressed concerns about Donna Carr's relationship with Michael Damon. He used the domestic violence disclosure team to seek information about Damon. Yet, when police spoke to Dana Carr, she falsely claimed she was no longer in a relationship with Michael, leading to no further investigation of Mr. Chappell's concerns. The report criticizes this approach, noting, "The decision to close the request based solely on the mother's self-report and without a follow-up face-to-face visit demonstrated a limited understanding of intimate partner violence and its impacts." This approach also missed the opportunity to gather detailed information about the new partner and assess potential risks through a Clare's Law disclosure. The day before the fatal attack, Carr was out when Damon was looking after Maya. He sent a photo showing numerous bruises on the little girl. Michael texted, "Babe, I really hope you don't think I'm doing this to her." Dana replied, "I would never ever think that." On September 28, 2022, Dana left Maya in Michael's care while she worked in Stockton, Teesside. In the hours leading up to the fatal attack, Damon made repeated calls and login attempts to sort out his universal credit status, and by around 2 p.m., he had found out it had been cut off. At approximately 2 p.m., Michael made a series of frantic phone calls. He first contacted Dana to inform her of an emergency, and then called 999, reporting that Maya was gasping for breath. When police officers arrived 10 minutes later, Maya appeared lifeless on the bedroom floor. Despite medical intervention and transport to the hospital by air ambulance, Maya's condition was severe. She passed away 2 days later when life support was turned off, leaving her family and community in utter devastation. Michael told the police he was playing on a computer in another room when he heard a bang and found Maya laying on the floor. He presumed she had fallen out of bed. But was Maya's death truly the result of a fall, as Michael initially claimed? The forensic evidence would soon tell a much darker story. The aftermath of Maya's death triggered a comprehensive investigation and legal proceedings. Dr. Louise Mulcahy, the Home Office pathologist, conducted an autopsy that confirmed Maya had died from severe blunt force trauma, including signs of shaking. The autopsy revealed approximately 50 bruises and internal injuries consistent with prolonged abuse. But what drove Damon to inflict such severe harm on a defenseless child? When Michael Damon learned that his universal credit had been stopped and he faced threats related to drug debts, he subjected Maya to brutal violence. The injuries inflicted were so severe that the damage to her eyes resembled trauma from falling from a significant height. These deliberate acts resulted in severe brain damage, from which Maya could not recover. Michael Damon faced charges of murder and child cruelty. His defense argued that the injuries were accidental, but the prosecution presented compelling evidence of intentional abuse. Dana Carr was also charged with child cruelty through neglect. The prosecution contended that Dana's failure to address Maya's injuries and her infatuation with Damon significantly contributed to Maya's suffering. During the trial, the prosecution highlighted Dana's negligence and lack of genuine concern for Maya's well-being. Evidence demonstrated that Dana ignored warning signs and failed to act on concerns raised by family members. Both Dana and Michael were found guilty. Michael received a life sentence with a minimum of 20 years, while Dana was sentenced to 9 years for child neglect, served concurrently with a 6-year sentence for child cruelty. In mitigation for Dana, her lawyer Toby Hedworth argued that she was blinded to the reality of the situation due to Damon's manipulative reassurances. He noted that it was only later that the scales fell from her eyes, and she came to grasp the full extent of her responsibility for the abuse, expressing genuine remorse. He stated that Dana sought care and affection, which made her willfully blind to the abuse. He also emphasized that Dana's grief and mourning for Maya's death would be a significant punishment in itself, one that would haunt her for the rest of her life. In his closing remarks, Nicholas Lumley, KC, representing Mr. Damon, stated unequivocally that Maya should not have died and did not deserve to die. He urged the jurors to reflect on their inherent revulsion toward child cruelty and suggested that Mr. Damon might be a fitting focus for that understandable loathing and disgust. However, Mr. Lumley contended that the evidence was insufficient to prove Mr. Damon's guilt for murder. He pointed out that Maya's death resulted from unusual and complex head injuries, with a rapid transition from being lively to lifeless. In a statement read to the court, Maya's family and her father, James Chappell, described her life as stolen by a monster and a coward. They expressed that they would feel crippled with guilt for the rest of their lives for not protecting her, noting that their concerns about suspicious bruises on Maya in the weeks before her death were brushed off by the person who should have protected Maya with her life. The family felt tormented over the torture Maya endured, and Mr. Chappell said he would have to live the rest of his life without the little girl he idolized. The community was deeply affected by the tragedy. A candlelight vigil was held in Maya's memory, featuring framed pictures of her and flickering candles, capturing the collective grief of a community profoundly impacted by her death. Over £7,500 was raised to provide Maya with a special send-off, reflecting the community's desire to honor her memory and ensure she received a fitting farewell. Maya's funeral was a somber occasion, with loved ones wearing pink, her favorite color. Her father, James Chappell, wore a pink tie as he carried her casket into the church. Emotional tributes and heartfelt messages underscored the profound sense of loss felt by her family and friends. The funeral was not only a farewell to a beloved child, but also a moment of collective mourning for a life cut tragically short. Earlier in the day, before the service, her father posted a moving message to his daughter on social media. He wrote, "I love you so much, Maya Louise Chappell. So does all your family. You'll be sat with your grandma and our Brooklyn and all the rest, and I know you're in good hands. So this isn't a goodbye forever, baby girl, just a goodbye for now. I'll see you again someday, and I'll make everything up to you. Until we meet again, little girl."
Maya Chappell died at the hands of somebody who should have been caring for her. Maya was defenceless. She was 2 years old and should have felt safe at home, learning, playing and having fun. But instead, she lived in constant fear of what Michael Damon was going to do to her next.
The NSPCC spokesperson's comments emphasized the importance of vigilance and immediate action when concerns about a child's safety arise. They stressed the need for reporting any signs of abuse or neglect to protect vulnerable children from harm. Maya's story calls for a reassessment of child protection procedures and a commitment to ensuring that such tragedies are prevented in the future. Maya's case underscores the urgent need for systemic reform to prevent similar tragedies. Child protection agencies must be adequately resourced, and professionals must be trained to recognize and respond to signs of abuse. Effective communication and collaboration between agencies are essential to ensure that concerns are addressed promptly and comprehensively. In conclusion, the tragic case of Maya Chappell highlights the profound impact that violence can have on individuals, families, and communities. This case serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of awareness and prevention. As we reflect on Maya Louise Chappell's life, let's honor her memory by advocating for these crucial changes and supporting efforts to protect children everywhere. Maya's story, though marked by tragedy, can inspire positive change and lead to a future where every child is safe from harm. We'd love to hear from you, so please share your thoughts on this case. And if there's a case you'd like to see us cover in the future, let us know in the comments. If you found this video insightful, be sure to check out our recent video about Kelsey Barrett. Don't forget to subscribe for more true crime content and to turn on notifications to stay updated on our latest video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.